and goals. Oh my! I was thinking of the Wizard of Oz. Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh my.
Resolutions, intentions, and goals.
Oh my.
So that's what I am going to talk a little bit about tonight. And at the end, if you so desire, if you would like to share perhaps a word for your year going forward. I know that there's going to be an amazing class tomorrow. I do not know if there are any spots left, but it's maybe about the word, your word, and all that kind of thing. So ponder that while I'm talking. What would a word be? All right. So I really, really love words. I love words. Oh my gosh. The way I learned how to read was having a dictionary right beside my book. And I still do that. If I have a hard copy book, I have a dictionary. And when I read on my ebook, I love that because you can just touch the word, and here's the dictionary. And I don't know, there's just something about words. And when I was in 7th grade, I got to take 6 weeks worth of Latin, which probably sounds like a nightmare to some of you. I was thrilled because all those little root words would turn up into bigger words. Wow, I loved it. And when I got to college, I took 2 years of Latin from a woman named Miss Jeanette Skidmore, who knew Moses when he was a boy. She was as ancient as her name sounds. Okay, and she was also the librarian. And there were exactly 3 of us taking Latin. So it kind of lost a little of the fun element with Miss Skidmore. So my last 2 years I switched to French. But words, I love them. But also, by loving words, I take words kind of seriously. I try to be very thoughtful when I am putting together something I want to say or something I want to write. And it's sort of like the Horton thing, I mean what I said and I said what I meant. That's like a serious kind of thing to me. I try to be precise and use the language. So the first thing I want to do is just do a little bit of definitioning of resolutions, intentions, and goals. And do they really mean something different and that kind of stuff. So a resolution is to determine a course of action. So you are making a determination to take a specific action itself or a whole series of actions, a course of action. That is a resolution. Intention. Intention is really your purpose. So that's not exactly a course of action. So that's sort of the kind of line of it, the purpose. And then a goal is the aim that your efforts are heading to. Right? So that's the goal, the end or goal. In Greek, that word is telos, right? Telos, an end or goal. It seemed like the perfect month to talk about these things, it being January, and within our culture, this is a time of year when people encourage us to say, well, what are your resolutions for the new year? Or sometimes now I'm hearing, what are you bringing with you from the old year? What are you leaving behind? Okay, and then also more and more I hear people say, well, what's your word for the year? What is a word you want to use to motivate you, to help you, to support you? But January, you know, it's kind of a hard month, you guys. We all know that, right? Snowmageddon, allegedly. Or maybe not. And Yuda came up with this great phrase she shared with me. Say it again. It's weather terror.
Weather terror.
or terrorism. It's like they're on the news and they're like, oh! Right? It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. We were doing that like Monday. Now, I know, because I have friends who live in the South, they got a whole lot more reason to be like, okay, like us, I'm not so sure. It's gloomy, it's dark. January is actually a pretty crummy time of the year to say, now's when I'm going to make a big change. Now's when I want to do those hard things, or here's my list, or whatever. So January's difficult. I've read many times that the best time of year to do that. Yes. What do you think of my name? That's spring.
End of the year.
Fall. Fall. And in particular, September. Because that's when the school year typically begins. And even though many of us do not participate in the school year, but some of us do, and some of us have kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, and so on. Okay. But we grew up with the school year being the beginning of a new year. It's when we got the new clothes, it's when we got the cute new shoes, it's when we got the Trapper Keeper, right? Or the cool new pencils, or whatever the stuff is, right? It was exciting. New teacher, where am I going to be sitting? Are there going to be new kids in class? Like, right? And it was sunny and crisp and yeah. So this resolution, intention, and goal thing is kind of hard in January. Not the best time. Not the best time. Sometimes the resolutions are well-intentioned, right? I have an intention to do this. I want to do this. And then you do it for a day, a couple days, whatever, and then you stop, and then you say, okay, no, I'm going to do it tomorrow, right? And then it's tomorrow, and then it's like the next week, and then it's like March. And it's like, okay, no. And when I do that, here's what it does to me. It makes me very unhappy with myself. And it makes me feel like, great. Right, you failed. You failed. Ew. Ugh. That's a terrible feeling. Right? No good. That's not good. You hear people, I mean, it's like a basis of many, many, many jokes even. Like how far, like on, I don't know, a radio station I listened to January 4th, they're like, okay, who's already stopped with their, resolution. So, there may be a better word than resolution or intention or goal, perhaps. I have to say I'm not sure what that word might be. I think goal might be better. Goal might be better because goal says it's what you are aiming toward. Right? I am trying to get from here to here. So there may be, to me, that's like a road with detours. Like one or the other. My husband dropped me off Thursday night. He put on Waze. It told him to get off the turnpike. And he said, Risa, I'm driving down like residential streets now. Like, wait, I don't know where I am. But I'm just following the Waze. I'm following the Waze. I'm trusting the Waze. Right? But he knows that it's set for the quickest route home. So then he found out there were a couple of pretty big accidents on the turnpike where he would have been sitting in his car, our car, the car. So getting to the goal many different ways, right? That's the Glenn Campbell song, The Road to My Horizon. There's a lot of compromising on the road to my horizon. Right? A lot of different things. So maybe goal is a better choice. There are words that are even stronger than one in my mind that I think about is the word oath. Like I've made an oath to undertake something. And I think about that word because it played an important role in the life of Sir Thomas More, or perhaps to you it's St. Thomas More. He and everybody who was of nobility had to swear an oath that they could morally support Henry VIII's marriage to Anne Boleyn. And to Thomas More, an extremely devout Catholic, he said no. Because he said oaths are things people make between themselves and God. So you better be 100% that you are behind this. Because if you're not, then you can't do it in good conscience. And there were plenty of people who did it with their proverbial fingers crossed behind their backs, right? At the time. Because they kind of didn't want to end up like him with his head on the block, right? But he was like, no, I can't do it. So oath is like the mega super promise. So goal, better than maybe resolution. But we also all know that sometimes the burden we put on ourselves is perfection. Right? I have to do this 100%. If I say that I am going to cut sugar out of my life because, not because of an allergy or a medical condition or whatnot, but because this is something I want to do, okay, and then I eat one cookie, right? Oh, I'm not perfect, fail. Perfection is often the arch enemy of the good, right? And doing good is better than not doing it all. And for a lot of us, and I don't know, it might be a sexist thing, but I think for a lot of us as women, that perfection bugaboo can trip us up. And that's hard. And sometimes, I will admit, I have been a perfectionist about things. And I know now that some of those choices, I set myself up because I didn't really want to do it. I'll admit it. Because I knew I was going to fail. It's like, man, that's off my plate now. Thank goodness. Right? Okay, good. Yeah, I have done that with some of my artwork and scrapbooking and stuff like that. With some kinds of things, I'm a perfectionist. Okay? I like to do page kits from Paper Wizard. I don't know if you know or follow them. They have incredibly detailed die cuts that you get to put together that have like 3,000 layers. Okay. I like doing that. Right. I like doing that sometimes. That feeds my need for perfectionism. And over the last 10, 12 years or so, with other kind of art and stuff I like to make, I am not going to be a perfectionist about those things. I'm going to go with the flow, I'm going to figure out a way around it. If I have my big old inky thumbprint on something, then that's going to turn into the petal of a flower or whatever, and there we go. And I have to say that I feel a lot better because I don't let perfection stop what I love doing, unless it's a paper wizard kit. Okay? But I know that going in. And I don't pick them up if I'm super stressed out or I don't think I can handle it or, whatever. I know what I'm doing, okay? So I found a way to feed my perfectionism, but also really feed my creativity. Okay, not that Paper Wizard stuff isn't creative, but they've done the hard work, in my opinion. So, resolutions, intentions, and goals. We don't have to be afraid of them. We don't have to make them. Okay, we don't. We don't have to say, oh yeah, draw my list up. No, we don't have to do that. We don't. We really, really don't. And if we want to do it in September or another month that's meaningful to you, and I totally understand why people would think spring, new birth, new growth, new life, everything's coming. Hey, do it then. You know, do what works for you. Right? It's the idea, I think, to have something to aim toward. Right? And that's always good, to have something to aim toward and try the best we can to enjoy the bumps along the way and be able to be flexible. And that gets back a little bit to the way that I talked about the very first time we did this. Right? Be bendable. Be bendable. Be bendable.
Give yourself grace.
Give yourself grace. Yes.
And that's where that's the anti-perfection thing. Give yourself, because I look at, you mentioned scrapbook pages. This is a great group for that. I look at my page and I see things are crooked. Nobody else sees them.
Of course not.
The 50 people look at it and they go, "That's a really pretty page." I look at it and I see that
It's like,
yeah, and it's not
it
even.
isn't. It
It
isn't
isn't
like
even.
that.
It isn't. I see like one piece that I adhere not at the top of the page or the bottom is crooked.
Yes.
Nobody else sees it.
Yes. That's such a great word, grace. Grace. Give yourself grace. And I think that's true sometimes for us when we look in the mirror. How are we seeing ourselves? Give yourself grace about that. And don't stop looking in the mirror either. I will also admit to you that I went for a very long time and I didn't even want to look in the mirror. And that ended some time ago. Okay. But we aren't always the best judge of ourselves or our work or whatever. So have something to aim toward.